So if you clicked on this video because you want to know why we're one step closer to a TBC release, now I'm going to tell you up front, I lied. We're actually 2 steps closer. So the first one, not overly compelling, but we'll talk about that first. So if you know about my channel or you've watched me before, you know I've referenced Nano, who's on Twitter. You can go and give him a follow. So he regularly tweets information and leaks, we could call it leaks, you know, about World of Warcraft. He knows people in Blizzard. You know, he's information is generally quite accurate. You know, he said when a TBC beta was going to start and when the release will be, and also in the same tweet he said when Nax was going to come, and Nax came at the time that he said. So either he's guessing or he knows more than we think, which I think I'd go for the latter. He knows these things, he gets this inside information. So on the basis his new tweet, which at the time of recording now was only 11 hours ago, he said we're going to be talking a TBC schedule by the new year. Now that's really bold. You know, the new year, again, at the time of recording, that's only 10 days away. We could potentially have breaking TBC Classic news in 10 days. I mean, that's immense. That's really something to get excited about. But we've got something far, far bigger to talk about than that. But first, make sure you like, subscribe, you know, ring the bell so you get notifications. I've started 2 new YouTube channels as well. Make sure you check those out. The SJ Gaming Live one, you can find the links in the description, obviously. That one's telling you how to get free games all over Christmas. So if you're not claiming those free games every day, make sure you head over to that channel and watch that video. I'm also working on some review videos for WoW Classic and the Old Republic Star Wars. So they're both going to be dropping on that channel before the new year. Again, make sure you subscribe to that. And then I've got my Scottejaye IRL channel, which is just me doing bantery things, you know, about what I get up to when I'm not actually playing World of Warcraft or making videos. And also, obviously, check me out over on Twitch, Scottejaye87. It's up there on the wall. And interestingly, if you subscribe to somebody already on Twitch, obviously it costs you $5 a month. If you use my affiliate code down below for Amazon Prime, which will cost you £8 a month, and support the channel, obviously, you get a free Twitch subscription as well. So you can subscribe to somebody, and basically you're going to get all the benefits of Amazon Prime, you know, free delivery, all of those good things, Amazon Video, you know, Prime Video, Prime Music, all of that, basically for £3 a month. So if you're already subscribing to someone on Twitch, might be worth cancelling that, getting Amazon Prime, using my affiliate code, help support me in the channel, keep it growing. Amazing, you know, that would be brilliant. But onto the juicy stuff. Let's make the screen a little bit bigger so you can actually see. But I'm going to talk you through all of this anyway. So basically, what's actually happened is a TBC survey has been sent to select Battle.net accounts. So this is on Wowhead at the moment. You can go over there and check it out. But we're just going to talk through this and see if we can pick out anything out of it that we think, you know, is relevant. So if we go, so the first question, so there's 14 questions, so you'll have to bear with me, but I will try and burn through them as quick as possible and just give you a few of my thoughts on each of the questions. So the first question, fairly basic. How interested are you in a classic version of the Burning Crusade? So not at all interested, somewhat, moderately, very, extremely. So I would like to think that the majority of the people who received this survey would have said extremely interested. Bear in mind, some of these questions are either the same or very similar to another survey that was sent out earlier this year, which, you know, the fact that we're now getting it twice, you know, this is, in my opinion, this is solidifying the fact that we are getting a TBC Classic. So obviously, what would I put on there? I'd put extremely interested. Give me TBC Classic now. So then the second question, how likely are you to play a classic version of the Burning Crusade? Now, I think this is a daft question, because let's face it, if someone put they're extremely interested in a classic Burning Crusade, why would they then put very unlikely to play it? You know, unless they're just wanting to watch people stream it. I don't know. But to me, it's a no-brainer. Whatever you put for the first question is going to be a direct reflection on the second question. If you put you're not bothered about Burning Crusade, you're probably going to be very unlikely to play it. So I think both of those questions, they only needed one of them. I don't think they really needed 2. But then the next one. So if World of Warcraft introduced a new WoW Classic Fresh Start realm, where the game is as it was on day 1. So players start level 1, Molten Core and Onyxia are the only raids available, so there'll be the progress raids, Battlegrounds are not yet available, etc. So they're basically saying, let's start on day 1 where it's phase 1, there's no Battlegrounds, you know, and we just go through the entire cycle again. So content progresses, you know, unlocks over time. How interested would you be in playing on that realm? So now what they're trying to do is gauge the audience. So how many people, you know, want TBC? I think from the first 2 questions, we're going to basically say, yeah, we're going to get a TBC Classic. So this is the third question, and I think now what they're trying to work out is, at the same time as launching TBC Classic, would it be worth the time and effort for them to also release a couple of Classic servers, again, with a fresh start? Now, I think there'll be quite a lot of the people who used to play the vanilla private servers and stuff like that may want this. They may opt for this. So I could see this coming to fruition. I can honestly see there being some fresh classic servers, even if it was just like a PvE and a PvE and a PvP realm in each region, because I don't think the vast majority, you know, I talk to a lot of people in the community, a lot of YouTubers, streamers, and there's nobody that I know who is really interested in this as an option. I know a lot of people who said if this was the only option, so if they decided not to do a TBC Classic and they just re-released WoW Classic from day one again, a lot of them would be done with the game and probably go to Shadowlands. And I myself am in that camp. I do not want a WoW Classic starting from day one again. It's fine if they want to do it and bring TBC at the same time, you know, to basically make the community happy that want this, but I don't think there's going to be that much calling for it, if you like. So obviously my opinion on this would be not at all interested. So then question 4. So thinking about your main WoW Classic character, this is interesting. So would the character you create on this new Fresh Start realm become your new main, or would you play this in addition to your main character? So the options are: the character on the new Fresh Start WoW Classic realm would become my main, or I would play the character on the Fresh Start realm in addition to my main. So playing on both. Now, I don't see many people saying they would play both. I think it would be you either go fresh and you forget about your last character, or you stick with your last character. And I think this is now trying to gauge how split the audience is going to be, because they're not when they're saying this new Fresh Start realm and then they're talking about your main character. I think, reading between the lines, what they're talking about here is, will you be playing TBC and Vanilla Classic, or will you just be playing one or the other? Which, you know, that's not how it's worded. You know, this could be taken two ways. This could be, I don't know, they do a WoW Classic Plus, which we know they're not going to do. There's too much development work. But, you know, there's a lot of ways you could look at this question. But in my opinion, what they're saying is, will you play TBC and a fresh server, or will you just play TBC? I think the majority of the people here, either if they go on this classic fresh realm, that will be their new main, or they'll just stick with TBC. Personally, I wouldn't be playing both. But who knows? So next, where do you think you would spend more of your time? So on a new Fresh Start WoW Classic realm where all the content's reset to day one, the Burning Crusade Classic, or play both equally. Now, I could see the Fresh Start realm being quite cool, but the Burning Crusade Classic, when that comes out, that's all new content. You're not going to want to get left behind. So you might, you know, people who say they play these both equally, maybe in the long term, you know, could be a possibility. As I say, I wouldn't. But really, you're looking at now, you're going to get your classic character to 70 first, get a tune, do all the things that you need to do, and then maybe you go on that Fresh Start realm, you know, in your sort of spare time. But then it's not going to feel as fresh because you're going to be left behind. So I think you need to make a decision. You're either going to go one way or the other. You might end up playing both in the future, but to begin with, what's more important to you? This fresh classic realm and getting a character to 60, or getting to 70 in the Burning Crusade. I can't see anyone honestly being able to say they'd play both equally, because you're going to have to invest a large portion of time from the start on one or the other, and then maybe you bring the other one in, you know, sort of into your schedule at some point. But then for me, for example, my focus would be on TBC, so I'd be answering the Burning Crusade. And then even if I thought about that fresh realm, by the time I'm established on my level 70, it's no longer a Fresh Start realm. You know, odds are by the time I'm established, there'll be loads of 60s on that classic realm already, so I'll feel left behind, so I probably wouldn't even look at it. But again, that's a very personal opinion. So now, this is quite a long one, so as a reminder for the following question, please think about your experience with World of Warcraft Classic. So think about the vanilla version, yeah? So rate your experience with the following features in the last 30 days played. So PvP, dungeons, battlegrounds, chatting with friends, mount or pet collecting, raiding, questing and leveling, role-playing in-game, crafting and gathering. So it's basically asking you, you know, it's either you're having a very good experience with it or a very bad experience or something in between. Now, PvP, if we was to compare this, I'm not sure what this question's actually trying to get at, if I'm completely honest with you, because if you said PvP's very bad, they're not now going to re-release Fresh Classic, for example, and change the PvP system. So I find this question quite pointless to what they're trying to achieve, unless the way they're trying to tee this up is they're looking at it and going, right, so if people say they've had a very bad experience, you know, if they're saying in the last 30 days their PvP experience is very bad, maybe they're like, well, they'll enjoy TBC more because of arenas and because of Eye of the Storm and because of, you know, better class balance in PvP in general. And if you said dungeons and you're saying very bad, they'll be like, well, TBC dungeons will be welcome because of the heroic difficulty, you know, because of the farming badges of justice and things like that. You know, the list goes on when we look through that. You know, if you're saying you're having a really good experience with this now, then maybe you like Classic, you prefer Classic as it is and don't want TBC. That's the only way I can see him using this information, because I think largely most of it's pointless. You know, chatting with friends. Why is chatting with friends even important to them for their decision on where they move the game forward next? Because guilds don't change between Classic and TBC. You know, everybody's still going to be using Discord to chat with their friends. But, like, chatting with friends, I don't see how that's relevant, because between Classic and TBC, nothing changed. You still chat with your friends either on Discord. You know, they can't even be looking at it as bringing in voice chat from 2.2, because, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's already in Classic. So, I mean, I don't know why they did that, if I'm honest with you, when it was a TBC feature. But, you know, no changes, all of that sort of thing. So... But anyway, largely, most of it, you know, and mount and pet collecting, I suppose you could look at it from that perspective, where if you was to say, yeah, I really enjoy that, there's more mounts, there's more pets, you know, in TBC. So maybe, you know, they've got to have an agenda for this question, because as I say, if we go through some more of it, you've got... so rate how important each of the following features are. So now this is more or less the same. So rate the experience of the following features, and then the next one is rate how important each are. Now, I'm sorry, but they're all important. You know, who would put... Well, unless you're a die-hard PvPer, so you're not bothered about dungeons, you're not bothered about friends or mounts or raiding. You know, this is really quite subjective, because this comes down to what you do, I suppose. You know, but how important they are to you, I mean... Even to me, I don't PvP that much, but it's extremely important it's there, because it's an important system in the game. So, again, some of these questions I just don't understand. You know, raiding. How important is raiding? Well, it's very important. It's a big part of the game. Even if you're a PvPer, I guarantee you've probably gone and pugged Molten Core or Blackwing Lair, or you know, you've pugged something in Classic, so it's still got some sort of relevance. So I really don't know what they're trying to get out of these questions. By all means, put in the comments below why you think they're asking these things, because I can't get my head around it, if I'm honest with you. The first few questions make sense, other than the fact the first two are like duplicated pretty much. But, you know, so how important are all the systems in-game to you? Then next, why do you expect to play WoW Classic in the near future? Please select if each of the following is a major reason, minor reason, or not a reason at all. So experience the story and lore. That doesn't appeal to everyone, doesn't appeal to me. Play as part of my regular routine, play as other classes or races, enjoy an immersive world, reach a position on a leaderboard or obtain a rank. I mean, that could be pointing towards arenas, to be fair. You know, that's quite important. There aren't any other games I'm interested in playing. Beat dungeon or raid content as a way to socialise with my friends, defeat other players in the world, level up, obtain the best gear, level up multiple characters. As I say, unless there's something going on in the background that we don't understand, I don't know why they care. You know, as in, when you cancel your subscription, it asks you why you've cancelled, and you've probably said, oh, I've cancelled it because, I don't know, I haven't got time in my routine anymore. So I don't understand. I don't understand why they're asking these questions, because I think, like, you can understand everything from the first question. Do you want TBC Classic? If you put yes, you want it. If you put no, you don't. I don't know what all this other mumbo jumbo is in between, but you know, they've got an agenda. As I say, I'm sure they know what they're doing. I hope, but they are only a small indie company. So, in general, how often do you do the following as it relates to WoW? So, visit independent community sites. So, WoWed, Raider.io, blah blah. Use the official WoW companion app. Visit the official website. Use community-made unofficial mobile apps. View streamers live. Well, hopefully you guys are viewing. You all put, you know, daily for that, watching me. But join chat, voice channels, so Discord, Battle.net, social, and look for video on demand content, so YouTube. Again, why does any of this matter to a TBC release? What, like, I don't get it. this survey is a really, really, really strange format, in my opinion, because it kicks off with why you want TBC, and now it's asking, you know, do you watch YouTubers? Do you watch streamers? Why? Please tell me in the comments why any of this is relevant. So how frequently do you utilise the following information or features from third-party independent community sites or apps? So guides, character profiles, other players' character profiles, dungeon progress tracking, gear and item lookups, talent calculators, raid progression tracking, game news and spoilers, profession tracking, quest assistance, achievement tracking. There's not even achievements in Classic. Combat analysis, raid and or dungeon information. Now, again, unless they're trying to build something amazing, you know, that we just don't see coming. So let's say they want to go down the TBC Classic route, you know, they want to bring out TBC, but then they want to implement loads of new systems, you know, so they want like an in-game armory, and they want, you know, being able to view other people's talent calculators in-game, and, you know, raid progress in-game, some sort of like WoW wiki, but internally. If they're trying to do that, then, I mean, bravo. But if they're not, then what are you asking us all this rubbish for? So when playing World of Warcraft, overall, how often do you encounter bad behaviour from other players? Almost never, sometimes, about half the time, most of the time, almost always. If you're between 91 and 100% there, almost always experiencing bad behaviour, I don't know. Again, pointless question. Not even going to talk about it. Who cares? So World of Warcraft offers several methods that you can use to respond to bad behaviour from players in-game. How have you used each of the following methods in the last 3 months? Remove the player from a party or a raid, reporting someone with the in-game reporting feature, or adding someone to my in-game ignore list. Forget it. So overall, how effective is reporting abusive players in World of Warcraft? Extremely effective down to not effective at all. I don't get it. Well, I don't know why anyone cares. You know, as in, unless they are trying to build a more robust reporting system and, you know, be able to punish people easier and monitor it easier, which they're not going to, are they? They're not going to put these systems in. So why are you asking us questions? I don't know. In the past 3 months, how frequently do you see the following behaviours in World of Warcraft games? So now it's not actually just about Classic, it's saying games, so it means retail as well. So botting, players going AFK in the game, spamming emotes, abusive text-based chat, players with offensive names, being kicked from a group without cause, spamming chat, advertising products and services, players griefing or deliberately inconveniencing their own team. So again, it goes from sort of almost never, sometimes, about half the time, most of the time, almost always. Now, all right, some of this is relevant, I'll be honest with you. This is actually the first one of these stupid survey questions that's relevant other than do you want TBC Classic. So like players cheating, you know, it's important that they do get feedback on, you know, how often do we see botters. I mean, AFKing in the game, you know, not participating, so that's, you know, going AFK during a dungeon and stuff. I mean, that's well within the group's power, you know, to kick that person from the group, so I don't see that relevant. You know, if they're thinking about bringing in some anti-AFK mechanic, you know, where if you go AFK during a dungeon, then you get kicked automatically, which that wouldn't be fair because, you know, sometimes you do genuinely need to go AFK and you tell your group and your group's all right with it. And then, you know, text-based spamming emotes, all of that stuff, we'll just put them on ignore and it goes away. I was really hyped about this server when I started doing this video, but as we've got through it, because bear in mind, this is the first time I've looked at it. I've looked at it, you know, with views for the first time. Overall, I mean, if we just go back to the first 3 questions where there was some relevance, how interested are you playing Classic Burning Crusade? How likely are you to play Classic Burning Crusade? And do you want fresh servers for Classic? But it doesn't mention Burning Crusade, which is interesting. So them making fresh TBC servers could be off the table completely. And I'm sorry to you private server players who want that, because to me, this questionnaire does sort of say that's not on the table. But I've said several times that I think by the time we get to a release, they will bring a couple of fresh TBC servers in each region. But that's that really. So interesting news. So Nano's tweet, let's fingers crossed, because I've been saying all along that I think we're going to get some sort of announcement before January. I said just a little teaser, just to say, look, TBC's definitely coming, and then BlizzCon's when they announce dates, schedules, all of that sort of thing. So I still think we're going to get an announcement. So I agree with Nano, but great respect to the guy for getting these teaser informations out there, and I hope he's right. Obviously, we all hope he's right, because we're all just sat waiting for it. We're creating a guild on Mirage Raceway, not even bothered about Classic. We're building it for TBC. So on that note, if any of you are looking for a guild, a serious raiding guild for TBC, join our Discord. Discord information's down in the description. Get in touch with myself or Roost, and you'll be able to find us on the server, and we'll see if we can make some room for you. But hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully it was informative if you hadn't seen this news already, and I'll see you on the next one.